So I've seen you guys' comments asking for a general chamber playstyle guide, so here it is. This is going to mainly focus on the fundamentals of chamber and not any specific scenarios or niche mechanics. But if you're liking these guides, make sure to sub for more. Chamber on attack and on defense plays three main roles, three on each side. So we're going to start with attack. So Chamber's not very great on attack, but he does play three main roles. The three main roles are the flank watcher, the lurker, and the second entry. So the flank watcher is just going to be like your normal sentinel. You trip the flank a lot. You're going to go in probably last. You'll probably be the last one on site. You might carry the spike, and if your team is like playing on site, you're probably going to be the one playing from main and watching the flank. So that's just the normal role. That's the easiest one. So now let's go for the other two. So the second entry, of course, you're going to trip the flank, but with your teleport, you're going to wait for the duelist to go in, and let's just say this is smoked off. Instead of you being the last one, since you have this teleport, you're actually going to be the second person to go in and help your duelist out. And if you ever feel unsafe, you can teleport off, and no one else can. So that's why this is very good. A lot of times the focus will be on your duelist, so you're not even at much risk when you go in second, as long as you have like a teammate flash you out or something, and you can get one or two and teleport away. So not too bad. But the third role is going to be the lurker. And you can do this with every sentinel in the game. The lurker, Cypher, Killjoy, and Chamber all play this role very, very well. So the lurker is mainly when you're going to not push something very fast. Like if you're full bum rushing a site, you should play with your team. But if you're not, like if your team says, all right, let's say, let's go B, but if there's too many, we can rotate away. What you're gonna do is a lot of times you'll put your trip on A, and you're not gonna put it there. If you're playing mid, you're gonna have your trip all the way up here. And this is to alert you if anyone is pushing out A main. So when you're the lurker, you are a lot of times by yourself, and most of the time you're going to be mid. If you're not mid, you'll play the other site and have your trip watch mid. But a lot of times for this map, you'll have like a KJ turret do that, but you can't really do that with Chamber's trip. It can't really watch all of mid, but it can watch all of A. So at least for this map, we're just going to do it where you're lurking mid. So what is lurking? Lurking is playing by yourself away from your team and relaying information to your teammates. So your goal as a lurker is to give information on enemy rotates, get a kill, or bring your team back onto the other side. So let's just say I'm lurking up mid. I'm lurking up catwalk while my team is on B. While I'm here, I'm making zero noise right now. I can hear all of these guys on A. I can hear them start to rotate away. And as I hear them rotate away, I can kind of move in, I can move in, I can move in. And if you manage to, you might even be able to get all the way up here and have the enemy spawn while your team is still in B main. And if you have that, what you can do from here is call your team back to A. Guys, I have A. Let's go A. I have all of A. As your team starts to come back, you can either look for a pick or you can back off. Depends on if you value your life or not. So a lot of times I like to look for one. And if you get one, you definitely just run away and fall back with your team. The second thing you can do with a lurk is finding a pick. So if you have people that are slow rotators, like they don't rotate off of A, your team is grouped outside B, they're chucking util, the enemy team's chucking util, you can kind of come up mid and look for one guy to maybe give you a duel, and you kill him. And once you get that lurk pick, you and your team can decide where to go off of that. So if let's just say I killed this guy mid, that would mean B is weaker because I killed their mid player, mid to B obviously. I killed their B mid player, and there would be more players on A and less on B, so we could move in to B off of that. That's just a basic example. And this last part, like this, all of this lurking, all of this applies to Killjoy and Cypher too. I don't know why you're watching this if you're a Killjoy or Cypher main, but if you are, it applies to them too. You can do the exact same thing. You're not really even using your teleport at all. You're just using your body and your trip. So super strong stuff. Alright, so now that I've covered how to lurk properly and do it well, now I'm going to go on to the defense roles. So Chamber has 3 roles on defense. The main one you're going to see him play is First Blood, and that is probably his strongest role because he has a get out of jail free card that allows him to get a pick and instantly get out of it and be completely safe. So the way you play this role is very self-explanatory. You place your TP close to a choke point or close to mid, and you're going to play very aggro when the barriers go down. You get a kill, hopefully, and you teleport away. It's very, very simple. That's the one you probably see most chambers do. So now let's get on to the other roles. So the other roles are going to be multi-kill and retake. So let's start with retake because it's a little bit easier. So retake is very, very similar to First Blood, except when you're playing retake with chamber, you're going to have your teleport somewhere safe, like here. So if I teleport to here, I'm not really at risk of dying anyway, because a lot of times this is going to be smoked. But when you're playing retake, you're going to be playing in a much safer angle. Instead of taking an off angle up close the moment the barrier comes down, you're playing a lot safer. So you can do this with off, you can do it with rifle, it doesn't really matter. You're just going to be playing a lot safer, and you're going to be looking for and getting out. And the reason this is like different is that you have your TP much further back in a safe position where you can guarantee that you're alive to retake the site with your team. When you're playing First Blood, if you get run down, like let's say you do get one and get out, if they have a fast duelist, that they can run you down and you might die. You might get a second one, but you also might die. The retake is to be a lot safer and to be a lot more careful with your life if you have good retake utility, for example. Like maybe you have a Sova and a Gecko and a Raze on your team that is all super, super good at retake utility. Play retake with chamber, get one, and get out, and play safe retake with your team. Okay, the last rule chamber plays is multi-frag. So this is kind of the in-between of the First Blood and the retake setup. So you're going to play somewhere somewhat aggressive, but also have your teleport in a safe spot. A very nice example of this is right here on B site. You have your teleport right behind shop, and you can play in shop. You can go for one, you teleport out, and now you're on site, and you play with your team to hopefully get a second. That's your goal with playing multi-frag, is to get one, teleport to site, play as a normal site anchor, and get another. And then you just play as a normal defender. Another one I showed in my ascent guide, actually, is you teleport on top of here, and now you place your teleport back here. So you go for one, teleport out, and now you play on site like a regular defender. Hopefully you have a teammate here with you, and you go for another. Some more examples I can show you of this. So we can do one on A. Let's say you put your teleport in health, and now you can play on top of Gen. I also showed this in my ascent guide. So now you go for one, you teleport away, and now you're on site to play with your team. And again, this is different from if I have my teleport in heaven. That's more of a retake setup. So you can actually play the same angle, except this time when you teleport away, you're much safer, and you can fall back with your team, regroup, and retake the site together. So those are the main three roles of chamber on defense. Now your job is to figure out when it's a good time to play them and when it isn't. So when I can give you a basic rundown. So when you're on a save round, that is probably the best time to play for First Blood. When you're playing for First Blood, you're risking your life, but on a save round, that doesn't matter as much. If you have almost no credits, it doesn't really matter if you die, because you probably aren't going to win the round anyway. So playing First Blood on your eco round is super, super nice, because if you are able to get one and get away, then it is very rewarding, because now it's a 4v5, and maybe you'll be able to recover the weapon that the enemy had, and you'll be able to have a rifle for the retake or for whatever else. So definitely play First Blood on your saves, and I would not play it when the enemies are saving. So when the enemies are saving, you can look at their money, you can hit tab. If the enemies have low money, they're probably going to have worse guns, and you don't want to be playing First Blood, because you don't want to have off or rifle. You don't want to come up here and die, and then they get your off, and then they destroy you with it. Because that might happen. It's happened before, and it will happen again. So that's when you don't play First Blood. A retake setup is a lot of times best when you have, let's just say you have 4 of your team playing B, and now you're going to play a retake setup on A. You're going to play up here, go for one, fall back, go for another, and now you're safe. Now you can make sure to retake with your team if you have good retake utility. Multi-frag is basically every other round. that you don't want to play aggro and you don't want to play retake. Every other round, you should be playing multi-frag. So, teleport with hell, for example, you're playing on site, just like a normal defender, with maybe your trip on main or your trip and cat. The moment they push on, you play like normal. If you feel unsafe, teleport away, and you're still on site to play with your team. So that should be the majority of your rounds. You should be playing multi-frag. If you're confident in your aim, you can go for first bloods more than that, just like on a regular full buy round where everyone has rifles. If you're confident in your aim, go for it. Might as well. There's only one way to get better at it. And if you have an op and they're on a regular rifle round, op is super, super good with first blood. Because with the op, your main goal is to give yourself as many shot opportunities as possible. So if the more shot opportunities you give yourself, the better. You play super close up, take a shot, now they start pushing you, you take another shot, now you fall back to back side, take another shot, now fall back even more, so that's 4 opportunities. That's super, super good with the op. That's what you want to be doing. So definitely play first blood with the op. Definitely don't play it on the enemy save, and do play it on your save. The majority of your rounds you should be playing multi-frag and retake if you're stacking another site and are anticipating that they're going another site. Or if you just want to play generally safe. Like if the team you're playing is not really fast and they're playing kind of slow, you can play retake if you want, because then you're going to be at least hopefully good if you want. But anyways, I can go into more in depth into guides like this, but this is just like a basic guide on how to play chamber. This is going to be for these low to mid elo players, and even if you're like diamond or ascendant and you want to pick up chamber, this should be helpful for you. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed this guide, and subscribe for more like this. I have more planned for this summer. Peace.